So greetings, what's going on? It's Mike from livemyassoff.com, and I'm here at Gateway 17. I'm inside the showroom floor, and we just had an amazing keynote, not the least of which was the presentation by Jack Ma. And like all good leaders I've heard, they talk very little bit about like product and infrastructure and procedure and that sort of thing. They talk about the people. Like literally every single decent leader I've ever heard, respected, want to hang out with, that's what they talk about. They talk about the people. So I'm stoked that that's still a constant. But one of the things that I wanted to show, and I'll try and like edit this into the video, is the statistics that are pretty common, but are summarized quite well here over the next 3 years. So basically between now and 2017, and so they have a lot of statistics from 2016 pretty much. There's one over here from 2015. But for the most part, it's like, look, this is where we're going to be by 2020, pardon me. And so the neat thing is that there's a lot of statistics that say that e-commerce sales right now in China are about what they are in the United States. And then there are some others that say that it already eclipses it. There's one statistic over there that basically talks about how 18% of the world's e-commerce comes from the US, 58% comes from China, 24% comes from the rest of the world. So as far as e-commerce sales goes, they're already like, you know, pretty much 3 times where we're at. Now that said, it doesn't necessarily say by number of products shipped, that sort of thing, or whether it's the total value. So again, you can make, I was in radio for years, and let me tell you, you can always convince someone with the numbers that you're the #1 radio station. Between this demo and this demo. Anyway, so it's pretty exciting, and I think one of the things that really just kind of blows me away is this one right here. And so, if you can see that. So right, right on, very cool. Anyway, one of the things that really interests me is the fact that I'm actually going to head out because I'm just going to walk back to the hotel. One of the things that really I find interesting is the fact that, thank you sir, is the fact that the U.S. in total last year, 100%, if you combine all of the e-commerce, it's approximately $400 billion bucks. And, you know, Amazon arguably had just under half of that. So that's the entire US. Every single website that sells stuff, 400 billion bucks. China, just on Alibaba, 500. It's just massive, the amount that they're doing. So it's pretty impressive. Anyway, I'm very excited about this. Let me just be clear though, I'm not like bashing America, any of the stuff that I'm talking about. But I'll tell you what I'm stoked about is the fact that all of this is wrapped around a gargantuan opportunity for us. Because they want our stuff in other parts of the world. They believe it's much higher quality, and quite frankly, so do I. And so do a lot of my friends. So that's pretty exciting. All right, anyway, so I'm gonna head back to the hotel. Tomorrow's like totally full on. Breakfast is at like 7, but they're gonna be doing keynotes from about 8:30, and then the show floor obviously will still be open. But one of the things that I'm thinking about is providing consulting services to folks over there, Chinese over there. And I'll give you an example of why I think they need some consulting services as far as communication and a way to really communicate with the customer. Because I had a really bad experience when they were just trying to reach out to me. And Jack Ma talks a lot about trust, and the way that you build that is instantaneously, or it takes a long time. And again, it's one of those deals where it takes years to build, right? Years to gain trust, and then seconds to erode it, right? But I'll share with you an email that I got from the guy who was supposed to be my sales associate at Alibaba. And it was ridiculous. I mean, you could argue that the only reason that it was incorrect is simply because they were using a translator that was totally inaccurate, or using some degree of AI or whatever. But you know, the person, they named themselves as Tim, and then they referred to themselves in the second and third person as he and she and her and all this, and I was just like, come on, man. So anyway, all right, I'll be back tomorrow. Ciao.